Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Kanye Crusade. And on this episode, we're doing his fourth album, 808s and Heartbreaks. Now, Holscher, I know you enjoyed the last album very much, and you say that that was your favorite album so far, right?
Yep.
What did you enjoy most about that album as a whole, compared to the first two projects that we listened to? Holscher?
I don't really know.
Okay. You don't know what you liked more about Graduation than...
I was consistently better. What constitutes better? I don't know, but something constitutes better.
Okay. This album is very different compared to the first three. It's a lot more depressing, if you couldn't tell, by just even the title of the album. It is a lot more pop inspired, and I know Graduation had its like poppier elements, but this one's like a lot more on display, so I think that'll be a lot more compatible with your tastes.
There's a lot more singing than rapping, if I remember correctly.
And a lot more electronic work. You know, if you want a little history, he made this album. His mom died like shortly after Graduation came out. His girlfriend broke up with him, so he was like, damn, this sucks. And so he made this to cope, and people did not like it on release. And that will lead to a different incident. If you remember from Late Registration, Drew and I were freaking out at the end over a recommended song, which we might talk about.
I thought that was at the
in
end of
this
Graduation.
video.
Was it Late Registration?
I thought it was...
Oh, yeah, it was Never See You Again, right?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
the song. That also ties into this album, sort of, and the next one, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But
I mean, we
Just
could
know-
cross it with this.
I mean, if we want to, it's
I'd
up
be
to...
okay with it.
But yeah, this album is a lot more depressing than the others, because again, it was a very depressing time in the artist's life, so keep that in mind. As for what you expect, what are you hoping for this album?
Honestly, just the way you've described it. I expect will probably be my favorite overall,
Okay, why do you say that?
because I like music that has crippling depression.
All right, you know what? That's perfectly fair. I think that's perfectly fine to like that.
Also, to give my 2 cents, aside from the popular ones, I've listened very little to this album, so this is probably going to be like kind of fresh for me as well. I mean, I have listened to it, but like, I don't know, I don't remember much from it. I don't revisit it that often besides the popular ones.
Since we have our introductions out of the way, I guess we could start with the first track. Let's get into Say You Will. Well, that was Say You Will. What did you think of that track? Well, sure. And I guess maybe Drew as well, since you haven't really listened to this album too often. So let's start with Holster first. What did you think of that song?
I think a good number of things.
Such
I think
as...
it's definitely the best intro track so far.
Really? That's interesting to say. You think it's better than Heard Him Say? Because I know you really like that one off of Late Registration.
I think it's the second best intro track so far.
I have to remind you of that. Oh, damn. Well, what did you like about that opening track?
The emotion just feels really raw, and I like that.
All right.
What I had mixed feelings on was just kind of how it lingers at the end, because that's how it is. When things suck, it just kind of lingers and follows you around.
That's true. I can definitely see,
On
like,
the other hand, it just kind of leaves a lot of dead air. And
yeah, like replayability upon repeat listens kind of hampers it, you know. But I could definitely see that, you know. I do like the emotional presence that it starts with the album. Drew, what did you think of that opener track?
I think it's long and it overstays its welcome. I agree with what Halser said. I like the kind of raw emotion of it, but it is long, and I do not think it earns... I don't mind long songs. I don't mind them, but they have to earn their length. I don't think that one earns the length, especially with all the dead air at the end.
I'm going to say this. I think you both are going to, like, really dislike the next album for how lengthy some of those songs get. But, you know, that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there.
I know Twisted Dark Fantasy better than this. I mean, I still don't, I still don't like the lengthy songs.
You know, I still agree. I do think that it does sort of linger a little too long, but I can also see where Holster says, like, when life does, like, kick you down and just time just lingers and just nothing really seems to happen. I get that emotion, but it just kind of leaves dead air to where it's like, okay, what is the song gonna do anything else, or is it just gonna keep doing this? But again, that could also just be its point. But that is pretty shocking. that you like that one that much, Holscher. I will say.
That's my least favorite intro.
Damn. I think
Out of the three, I mean, out of the ones we've listened to.
I think just for that, like opening, since you've had that much of a positive like reception to it, I think you will enjoy this album a lot, Holscher. Any other thoughts want to share?
I ain't got nothing.
I don't have anything either.
Well then, let us continue with Welcome to Heartbreak. That's the name of the album. Well, part of the name.
Kind of,
It's like
a
half the
little
name.
bit.
That's half the name. That's half the name.
Heartbreak, heartbreak, you tell me goodbye.
That was Welcome to Heartbreak. What'd you think of that one, Holscher?
I felt all of that.
You fell in love with that? Is that what you
I
said?
said I felt all of that.
You felt all of that. Okay, sorry.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Fair enough, yeah.
personally really love this track. What made you I know this is probably going to be very tough for you to probably put into words because I know we had a little bit of a struggle with that. What are your like just thoughts on it? Just unfiltered.
It's not so much about the music itself, it's more about just how Kanye's talking about all this stuff's going on, and he's looking at his life and he's wondering, what's the point? I feel like that is a lot of what he's asking himself, especially in the first part. It's just, what the hell's the point?
I mean, I also still, again, like you said, like, what is the point? Especially at this time, you know, like, he is like the big successful rapper, but you've also lost like two of the most important people in your life. Kind of just don't even know what to do. So it is kind of just like, what do? I love the percussion. I just love the production on it. It's incredible. Kid Cudi does a great hook. I really do love the auto-tune, like singing. Again, like, that is going to be like a very big theme. Like, not as much rapping, but a lot more singing on this. But yeah, I just really love, like, even though it is like more upbeat compared to the previous one, it's still depressing as hell, which is like going to be a consistent like presence on this album. You know, you'll still have like slow songs, and then you'll have like upbeat or more upbeat songs, but still being depressing as hell. And I think that's like a great balance that this album has. I know I've been talking for a little bit, but Drew, what are your thoughts on this album or that song, Welcome to Heartbreak?
I think it works much better as an intro track. It's a lot shorter. Plus, it says the name. Plus, it's literally saying welcome. So
That is true.
So
Welcoming you into the album.
it is literally, and I like that much more I just like that much more as an intro track. I do like it though. I don't really have much else to say beyond that, but yeah, I like it. I know some people don't like the auto tune, but I'm fine with it. I think auto tune works in some places.
Also, it's like, again, like when this album came out, like 2008, autotune was still seen as like a little iffy. Like, you saw like artists like T-Pain who like actually utilized it to do like interesting stuff, but especially with someone like Kanye who like for the past 3 albums did like real raw, unfiltered like soul music, hip hop. You know, going from that to this, it was kind of very jarring, especially with like how it's more pop inspired rather than hip hop. So like back then you could definitely see why people didn't really like this album, but now like people say it like revolutionized mainstream hip hop, which I mean, you could kind of see it. You know, without this album, you wouldn't have a lot of like more contemporary R&B / hip hop artists in the field. And I know a lot of people already said that, but you know, you ask like most rappers like Drake or Weeknd or any of those like big time R&B hip hop guys, like their main inspiration is probably going to be 808s and Heartbreaks for how it like defined their sound. Yeah, I really enjoy that second track. Any other thoughts?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Well, we will go on to the next track. I do not remember what the next track is off the top of my head.
The one.
It's the one, the track. I do believe this track that we're about to listen to, Ulster, it is
Popular,
his
I
most
think.
popular song on Spotify,
Yeah.
with 1.6 billion listens on Spotify. Can you believe that, Holster?
We'll see.
People really like this one.
Now,
Probably should have told me that after and not before, but oh well.
listen, I know like, oh, the most popular thing must be it's so great. But,
Popular is
some
not
people
always a
say,
good
like,
thing.
popular might always be a good thing. So you might absolutely hate this track, Holscher, and you'll think that those 1.6 billion people are stupid.
Because there's one song, I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's his third most streamed on Spotify. I don't think that's a good song at all, but people like that one apparently. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just saying popular is not always good. That's my point.
Yeah, but now that we've got past that and possibly spoiling this song and a future song,
I didn't say what the future song was. I didn't spoil anything.
if we don't have anything else to say about the previous track or just now, we will move on to Heartless. Well, that was Heartless. Ulster, what did you think of that track? Do you think
I've heard it before.
You probably have.
Probably
Again,
have, yeah.
it does have 1.6 billion listens on Spotify, so you're probably bound to hear it in the wild, but do you think it deserved that 1.6 billion views?
Perhaps.
Did you like that track?
I certainly did.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but I did definitely like it.
Really? Okay. So far, what has been like your favorite track out of the three we've listened to?
It's either that or Bittersweet Poetry.
Oh, are you talking about
Uh,
like in
I
like
th-
the entire?
I think you meant on this
discography
album,
Yeah.
Ulster.
so far? Oh, okay. Well, that's still interesting. Well, I mean, that's
Out of this
still
album, definitely the best of the bunch.
Like
okay.
the Heartless
I
is the
mean,
best so far out of this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Okay.
got you.
I mean that's still like a good, put stuff into perspective when it comes to like his favorite music. But what did you like about Heartless, Holster?
Same thing I've liked about most of this album. Just I like the raw emotion.
That's fair. Again, the hook is iconic. I should probably let Drew talk. What did you think about this song, Drew? Even though I probably already know what you're gonna say.
I think it's fine. Maybe a little overrated, but I think it's okay. I don't have anything against it, but it's not something I actively revisit for being as popular as it is.
Okay.
I guess I can see why this one's the most popular, because it's kind of like you said, it's got a good hook, and it's very like pop-y kind of, but a little overrated in my book. But like I said, I understand why it's so popular.
I mean, when you first I know almost all of Kanye's other when you see like the big popular song, you think of that album. I know Graduation's a little iffy because again, there's a lot of tracks on there that could be like, oh, this defines Graduation. No, this song defines Graduation. But I think if you asked general fans of Kanye, if they want us to be like, what is your definitive 808 song?
They're gonna say this one probably.
Because it perfectly describes just the tone of the album. But yeah, I really enjoyed
And
that.
what the album is, because it's a lot more harmonic than kind of hip hop, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah,
Right.
it describes the tone pretty well.
I can see it being a little bit overplayed, but for me, it hasn't gotten to that point. I think probably the main problem with overplay for me is that if the song itself can get to an annoying part, to a point where it is just annoying monotony, then it starts to get on my nerves. I know the one song you said, the third song was my favorite song.
We'll get to that one.
That can get very annoying very quickly. But for this
I've said my thoughts on that one to you in peace before,
Yes.
but we'll get there.
I think personally for me, this song probably won't ever get annoying just for how well written and just well put together it is.
I don't think it's annoying necessarily. I
know.
I just meant kind of
I'm just saying for me personally, when it comes to overplay, if it you keep hearing the same thing over and over in songs that just gets monotonous.
I guess I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I don't know. I it's just not one I revisit that often. But I mean, I can see why it's the most popular, and it's not beating a dead horse for me yet either. I'll still listen to it every now and then, but I mean, yeah, it's fine. I don't have anything against it.
Do you want to add anything else, Holscher?
Yeah.
We will continue on to the next song. If I remember what it is it Love Lockdown?
Spider-Man.
Hey, copyright. Shh.
I'm trying to give you a hint.
Wait, hold on. Am I retarded?
I'm trying to give you a hint.
Am I retarded?
Don't think too hard. It's in the name of a movie that involves Spider-Man.
You might know me as Spider-Man.
Wow.
You might also know me as the homeless heroin addict. I have to go now, bye.
George Lucas is the creator of everything and anything. I am retarded. What is it? Oh my god.
The next track is amazing.
Oh my god, I'm fucking retarded. God damn it.
All right.
Now I can shoot the ghost web and climb the vowels.
Well, that was amazing. Ulster, what did you think of that track?
I was not really coming to this expecting anything too musically strong, but that one was good.
Would you say it's amazing?
No. I think if I listened to it 2 or 3 times in a row.
I don't know what that's going to come through as on the recording, but that was a really funny cut.
Yeah,
anyway, go on.
Mike can just fucking say what.
If I listened to that 2 or 3 times, it would be pretty annoying, but the first time, it was good.
Okay. Mr. Higgins, what did you think about amazing?
Repetition has its place, and I think that kind of worked somewhat.
I know,
I think it goes kind of overboard a little bit, but it's not I don't think it's annoying or anything.
I know
mean, I don't mind it, but
I just know that the previous Heartless, we talked about repetition and songs just being overplayed and monotony and starts to get on your nerves, I just find that kind of funny because I thought you would be Oh, you see what I mean now about repetition, but I'm surprised you didn't entirely hate that.
No, I don't hate this one. Again, 808s isn't one I really listen to a lot, like I said. It's just not one I listen to a whole lot. This one specifically. There's a few on 808s I go to every now and then, but this isn't one of them. It's not bad again, but yeah, it's just kind of a lot of 808s for me is just kind of like not but like leaning good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see it. I thought that track was fine. I did think the Jeezy verse was kind of unnecessary. Kind of didn't fit with just, I guess, the sound of the album. It is a lot more like, I guess the word moody would be the good word to describe it. And then you have this like big gravelly voice kind of just interjecting into the instrumental, which kind of really didn't fit for me personally, but I thought that track was fine. Any other thoughts and comments on that previous track?
I got nothing from me.
Nothing from me.
If we don't have anything else to say, we will continue with Love Lockdown. Well, that was Love Lockdown. Sure. What'd you think of that track?
I think this album has been improving over the last couple songs. That was good.
All right. What'd you like about that
It's-
track?
Oh, musically, pretty solid. Emotionally, it wasn't raw like some of the songs, but you still really feel it. I don't know if feeling the denial is the right word of it, but that's the word I want to use. That's the word that best describes what's going on in my head.
I would say probably. Oh, actually, I'll pause my thought. What did you think of that track, Drew?
It's just another one that's kind of for me. I mean, again, it's not that I don't.
Really?
It's not that I don't like it. I'd say it's above average on the rest of them, but and it's not, again, it's not that I don't like any of these. It's just that they're all kind of, I don't know, not really my jive, I guess. It's definitely a personal thing. It's not like a. It's not that they're bad songs, like I've said. It's definitely a personal preference, but I mean, I still like it. It's got a nice little flow to it, nice little rhythm. But yeah, it's just another one of those I don't really think of that often.
Damn, that was one of my personal favorites of this album.
And I can see that. I understand why. It's just something I don't listen to that much. Like I said, it's definitely a personal thing.
I really like just like its energy. Again, it's sort of how I said about Heartless. It is a lot more upbeat, probably the most upbeat track on this album, instrumentally wise. I really like just like the constant drum in the back, like the boom, 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 boom. That's always, fun to hear. I think what you wanted to describe, Holscher, just like the feel of that song, I would say probably just a cycle. How you always want to love someone, but they won't or can't reciprocate that love, so you just have to keep telling yourself you just got to keep moving on, but you still want to still love that person,
Yes, I do
even though they don't have any more love for you. And I kind of feel that sometimes, personally. And I think that one's sort of grown on me, in the past, past year. I really get that feeling. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Any other thoughts you gentlemen want to share?
I have nothing.
Not for me.
Well, with that, we will continue on with the next track. Oh gosh, you have the playlist pulled up, so I guess. Do you want to give another hint to see if I can figure this one out, or do you just want to go on to the next one?
You seem very on edge about what the next track is. One could say you're
Paranoid.
there. You go.
Stay away. Don't you invade my home.
Well, that was Paranoid. Vulture, I'm so paranoid to hear your thoughts on that track.
I think a wise man once said, "You're not paranoid if they're actually after you."
It is fair. Do you know who said that?
I can't remember.
Damn. So you like that track?
I think I did, yes.
You think you did?
I think I liked it better than the previous one.
Okay.
So far, this album's just been getting better.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. What'd you like about it?
I enjoyed the beat.
All right, that's fair. That is probably the one track off this album that you can probably bust a move to. Instrumental wise, that is like very groovy. What'd you think of that track, Drew? Sorry. What'd you think of that track, Drew?
Glad I got that on recording.
I'm gonna kill you.
I like it. I mean, I know I've said most of these are but I'd say that's the first one that kind of breaks above that. So far, that's my favorite. I know it's not my favorite on this album, but so far, that's my favorite. It's very plucky, and like you said, it's something you could bust a move to. It's kind of upbeat, sort of, at least in terms of like the vibe. Or it's very go-get 'em, I guess, is what I want to say. But yeah, I like it. So far, I place that above the other ones. I don't really have a whole lot other than that though. I like the other ones.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I will say that's probably my second favorite off this album. I just really like, just again like the beat, like we all said, and it is sort of a good emblematic like theme of like just arguing. You're fighting. You're always so paranoid. I know it's kind of corny to say that, but it's just like you don't have trust. In the relationship, like they even talked about. Makes you go crazy. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Any other thoughts?
I don't got anything.
I got nothing.
Let us head on to the next track,
And what is the next track, Bryce?
RoboCop.
There you go.
I'm crazy.
Why you acting like imposter?
Well, that was RoboCop. Ulsher, what'd you think of that track?
Mediocre.
That was mediocre. Okay. What'd you...
I wanted to like it, but musically it wasn't there, and emotionally, I just don't really feel it. It's just kind of goofy, honestly.
Okay. I could kind of see the goofy take. Maybe from an icon aspect. I know this is going to be like, ooh, I'm putting on my thinking cap now. Alright, fucking music critic Bryce here. Fucking Anthony Fantano. But, maybe like the goofiness could be like a sort of way of coping. Like he even's like trying to be a little bit sillier, like, oh, I'm a RoboCop. But he's still kind of laughing through the pain,
Sad clown.
Even I think like the most telling is the line where he's like, "Somebody please stop this now." Like maybe he even realizes like even trying to laugh through it just isn't helping. I could probably see that from like someone taking away from that angle. That's just my 2 cents. What do you think of that track, Drew?
That is my favorite one on 808s. Yep.
Really?
And it is for
That's
that very
interesting.
reason. It is goofy, and I love it for that reason. Like I said, I'm not disagreeing. It's goofy, but that is exactly why I like it. It's kind of the duality of like it's upbeat and it's silly, but it's like it's like a sad clown thing, and I really like a sad clown thing. That is my favorite track on 808s.
That's really surprising. I guess maybe that's why what I was trying to get at. I think I'm like with Holscher on it. I do like it, I think. Would it be something I would be replaying all the time? Probably not, but I still respect it. I think that's probably what I want to say. I really, really love the instrumental, like, during the chorus. Like, it just feels very epic. I know this is very, very nerdy to say, and kind of dorky. But again, it's just, you could also say it's kind of generic, but it just reminds me of like classic like open world like JRPG like exploring music, like a Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger, like just how like epic and like how much scale there is to it, with like the orchestral backing it, it just makes it feel grandiose, one could even say. But I think that's like what I really like about that, just like how grand it is. Any other thoughts?
I just like
Gamers
how
have?
I just like how grand and whimsical it is. It's whimsical and it's silly, and I like it for that reason because the message is kind of the exact opposite. That's why I like it.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't have anything.
Anything else, Solskjaer?
Yeah.
Well, if we don't have anything else, we will continue on with Streetlights.
Please make it stop.
Streetlights. What'd you think of that, Holscher?
I really liked it. It reminds me of Shade Forest from Pokemon Insurgents.
I know my destination.
All right.
Great song. Really good song.
The Pokemon song or the Streetlights? To both?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I guess I could sort of. What did you like about, I guess, Streetlights particularly?
I think the instrumental was pretty good. I'm going to be honest. That's pretty much all I heard because I was too caught up in that to pay attention to what the actual words were. Yeah, I like the instrumental. Good instrumental.
See,
Okay.
that's how you know it's good, is when it's not even paying attention to the lyrics. I respect the hell out of that.
Well, Mr. Higgins, what did you think of that track?
I also like that one quite a bit. I don't have the Pokemon ties like Ulcer does, so I may not like it quite as much. But that's probably number 2 under RoboCop. It's got a nice. I know this is a bad way to describe a song, but it's just got a nice vibe, nice little like, kind of calm, but also like tap your foot kind of flow. It's a weird mixture, but I think it works.
I mean, yeah, I could sort of understand it. I like that track. I don't often revisit it. I do like the whole theming of it. Just You know, the streetlights are the only light you see. You know, even if you're like just roaming, not knowing where to go, like the streetlights will always be there. Which I mean, can be both a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. You know, like if you're just aimlessly wandering in the night, not knowing what to do or where to go, you know, the streetlights will always be there to sort of guide you. Where it'll guide you, you know, you don't know. But, and I know that's probably already been said before, but I respect that and I like that. I also do like the instrumental, especially in the second chorus. And when you add in the backing vocals, it does make it feel like brings it alive, even though it has been kind of like a downer, depressing, lifeless almost track. But I enjoyed it. Any other thoughts from either of you?
Not for me.
I don't have anything either.
All right. Well, we will move on to the next track, which is. Are we doing a guessing game again, or are we just gonna go?
Yes, we're doing a guessing game again. Of course we are.
Okay.
I can't think of a hint for this one, honestly. I mean, I can, but it's a bad hint. It's gonna give it away.
Pinocchio story?
It won't be good news if you don't guess this next track.
Oh, bad news. That's what it is. Oh.
Bad news.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what tracks are left, because I think we have 4 tracks left, not counting bad news.
It's 4 including bad news, yeah. Plus, if we want to do See Me Again, which...
4.
But that's not on this. That's its own thing. But 4 on this album.
Right.
Anyway, this is bad news.
Everything I want to do is illegal.
Bad news. More like bad song. Am I right, Holscher?
No, you're not.
Damn it, man. Why'd you have to go ruin the joke? I'm kidding. But what'd you think of that track?
I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. Pretty groovy.
Any other aspects that stand out besides its grooviness?
Good emotion, which is a pretty generic thing for me to say for this album, but the emotion's definitely there, and I enjoy that.
Okay. What did you think of that track, Drew?
It's back down there with the other ones for me. We're back to but good.
Okay.
I have no notes on this one whatsoever. It's just
Yeah, I'm also in kind of the same boat. I do think it might just be a little bit underdeveloped, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I need a little more sauce. That would have made it stand out. But yeah, not enough sauce.
I get the message of like, oh, you've seen them move on, and you're still like hurting over it. You know, I respect that, but I just wish that maybe it was conveyed just a little bit more thematically with like the sounds of like the production. But I could kind of see like its point. I didn't really have that much thoughts on it. I thought it was fine. Any other thoughts?
I got nothing.
I don't have anything either.
Well, let us head on to the next track, which will be pretty chilly, right?
No, it won't.
Fuck. God damn it. Okay, I told a lie.
You will see me in your nightmares, though, for getting it wrong.
Fuck.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
Oh boy, that song sure will haunt me for how bad that is. Right, Holscher?
Right.
Yeah. I can't keep the joke going. I don't know. I wasn't expecting you to... Well, I kind of was expecting you to agree or not. But what did you think of that track, Holscher?
I actually enjoyed it. Once again, good instrumental. The whole thing of just trying to get over somebody, but just kind of follows you around in there, man. Feel all of that.
And I get that. What'd you think of the Lil Wayne part?
You're
You
gonna
don't
have
know
to
who
be more
that is.
specific, I think.
The guy who's
did not.
the guy who sounds like he's high off cough syrup, and he sounds like a reptile.
Yeah, I definitely noticed it, and I don't usually notice when somebody else is in there.
But yeah, it was that guy. What'd you think of that part? Like the I can't even do a Lil Wayne impression because I'm not a fucking junkie who loves lean.
He sounds like that one crackhead that I bumped into when I was wandering the streets.
Can you tell us about this crackhead?
I mean, that's a long-ass story, so I'll just jump to the good part. So I was wandering the street one day, and after 20 miles of walking and a bunch of relevant stuff. I'm on my way back home, and I'm on this intersection. And this particular intersection, it's usually got a lot of traffic, so it takes a while before you get an opportunity to get across. And I look across the street to my right. There's a man there. He's got this hoodie on. It's kind of looks like it's made of burlap. And the way the hood is sewn, it just kind of points up a little bit. It's got shorts, still spring, whatever. Like, there's just something about him I don't like. Just something about him that bothers me. I begin to pray. Dear God, please keep this man on the other side of the street. There's a break in the traffic between me and him. The man begins to walk towards me. Oh no. Oh fuck. Immediately, upon seeing him, I notice something. He's got this white stuff on his tongue and around his lips, and he keeps on licking his lips.
Oh dear.
He strikes up a conversation. He's got this real raspy voice. You student? Why do you ask? Seem like a real intellectual guy. Would you consider yourself to be an intellectual guy? I don't know, man. What do you think I look like? A hippie? I'm really not sure how to answer this. So I just say, I don't know. Real into technology. Intersection of technology and nature. And herbalism. I bet you are, buddy. Now, like I said earlier, I'd walked 20 miles on that particular day. My feet really hurt. But frankly, this crackhead was scaring the piss out of me, and there was a break in the traffic. So I just fucking booked it down the road. Didn't look back.
And now he's right behind you.
Well, that was an interesting story in relation to Lil Wayne. Sounded like
I kind of forgot how we got there, but that was a great story.
druggy. Drew, what did you think of that song?
Again, I have no thoughts on it. Like most of the rest of this album, it's kind of just it's down there with the rest of them again.
Your head is empty. No
I
thoughts.
have no thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I do think the Lil Wayne part is a little off-putting. Kind of takes you out of it. I think that's just the problem with most of the features on this album that aren't like hook centered, Because like with Cudi on Welcome to Heartbreak and the hook on Paranoid, they just work, as like quick hooks to help build the album, But like actual verses from guest artists, it kind of just like it doesn't fit, Especially with the people that he chose. Like, yeah, they were big at the time, but it just didn't really fit upon like later listenings and just like as it has aged. Because I still think this album ages really well in like the current music landscape, but just like the guest features just don't really do it. But that's the most I say about that song. Any other thoughts?
I don't have anything now.
I got nothing.
Well, we will move on to the next track.
Which is
It'll be a pretty chilly track.
there
Chilling.
you go.
You're good.
There you go.
Coldest Winter. Well, that was the Coldest Winter. Holster, what'd you think of that track?
I feel all of that.
Some
I further think that is an ice cold world.
It's the thing.
And the thing, no one else is gonna know this, but only us are gonna know that. Oh, that's crazy.
Is that a good thing, Holsher?
I think it is.
So you enjoyed that track?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's fair. What'd you enjoy about it?
The emotion, mostly.
That's fair. Mr. Higgins, what did you think of that track?
I would say that's number 3, but there's a big gap between 2 and 3.
Okay,
Other than that, I don't have much thoughts on it. I like the melody of it.
that's fair. I do, in my opinion, I think it's probably, again, like when it comes to like favorites tracks, they're like very difficult for me. Because even though like a lot of these are like fairly good, Like the ones that I really like are like above and beyond most other tracks from like Kanye. I would say that's probably my second or third favorite off this album. Mainly just for, again, like just building up just the song itself, but also I feel like also with the, I guess the short story, I guess you could say, with it's sort of building on the emotions of, reflecting about the past relationship and like, staying up all night, just like reliving old memories from a bygone era, and trying to finally like accept that you need to move on. And I guess also just like it keeps bottling itself up until like the final chorus, where it just like kind of explodes and like you kind of just let out the, I would say sort of childish, but also like very real notion of like never loving again, because like even in the moment, sometimes it feels like once you lose that like someone you like had that connection with, you just feel like you can't love someone else the same way, and you might not love to that extent ever again, which I kind of like. I really like that track. Any other thoughts you gamers want to say? I do feel like I am talking a little bit too much for this album, but I guess maybe I just have.
I think you're doing fine. I mean, I don't have much.
Fine.
I don't have much to say about this album anyway. So please, by all means.
Gotta fill time somehow.
Yeah, I have virtually nothing to say about this one as a whole.
Also, I just want to give Holscher a chance because he seems to really enjoy this album. If he has any other thoughts.
I've got nothing else to say.
Well, I guess if we don't have anything else to say, we will conclude this album with Pinocchio's story.
Vote, vote, vote.
Well, what did you think of the last track off of 808s and Heartbreaks, Holscher?
You're going to have to give me a minute because I'm still kind of gathering my thoughts on how I want to approach this.
All right. Well, I guess while Holscher takes time to collect his thoughts, Drew, what did you think of that song?
I think it would have been fine as a bonus track, but I don't like it as the outro.
Okay, I could probably guess why you don't like it. But what didn't you like about it?
It just doesn't feel very outro-y. I mean, I do like the song. It's not that I don't like the song, it's just that, I don't know, I don't think it really works as an outro track or a last track.
I guess I will go to give Holscher more time. I think that song is like fine. I understand like the messaging and sort of just like the intent behind it, He's doing a live performance, basically just airing out like all the issues, it's always talking about, oh, I might have everything, but it still feels, like, what is the price of fame worth all this heartache and pain? Look at that rhyme. I'm crazy like that. And then you have that contrasting with like the screaming people like shouting out your name, like supporting you. And like even though like it might feel great to like have that recognition, none of those people will still like get to know like the real you and like what you're actually going through. And I mean like even like during some of the song it sounds like he's about to like just cry. I could definitely see like the live aspect of that getting kind of annoying, especially upon repeat listens, because it is, I guess it's just sort of like a bellyache, like cry for help song maybe. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I guess I could just respect that more than like actually like it. But yeah, that's my thoughts. What about you, Holscher? Have you?
I have.
All right.
I definitely appreciate what Kanye is talking about there. Just like you're constantly chasing after this thing. You're trying to fill this hole in your heart as best you can, but you just can't do it. I think it's part of the human condition, maybe.
It's respectable.
Yeah, you two gave me a new output or outlook on that one. But I never really think of it like that, honestly. I still don't like it as an outro, but I can appreciate it more now.
You respect the song more than like actually liking it.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of my whole feeling about this album. Like I do like it, but I think I respect it more than I like it. That's how I might mainly feel about it. Like just as a whole,
It's inoffensive to me. Like I get what it's trying to say, but like it's just not really my jive.
But do we have any other thoughts on that album? Any thoughts on that track?
I have nothing on that track.
Holscher?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess since that was the last track, what about overall thoughts on the album as a whole? Who would like to go first?
For me, it is still where it was, and it's inoffensive, but I will not revisit most of it.
All right. Interesting. Well, sure, what about you? What did you think of 808s and Heartbreaks as a whole?
I like it very much. It's definitely not groovy in the way that the previous albums were. I feel it.
I think that was
Okay.
like the big point of this one was it's more kind
Personal.
of raw and feely and personal than it is sort of. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say though.
But yeah.
Trying to compare it to the other ones in terms of quality is a bit like comparing apples to oranges. I'm going to say I like it at least as much as Graduation. So it's at least a 9. Maybe a 9.5.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Damn. That's respectable. Again, like I always said, I do like a good amount of these songs off this album. I think they do like hold a place in, I guess, Kanye's discography as to like how both his future music is influenced by it and also just general hip hop / R&B. I do think it is very depressing. So a good half of these songs are kind of hard to come back to because they are just very downer. Which I mean, at the right place and time, they probably hit you like a truck. But for just like casual listening in like a playlist or just even repeat album listens to, it can be kind of draining. But I guess that is also the point of the album, since it is just like a way for someone to cope with loss. I liked it. Anything else?
I have no further comments. I've said my piece, which wasn't much, but I stand on it.
Well, sure.
I have nothing else.
All right. Well, I guess that concludes 808s and Heartbreaks. Now, Drew, I know we talked about it a little bit in late registration and a little bit at the beginning of this. Do we go on to the track, the infamous one?
It is chronologically next in our timeline.
So do we want to, Holster, do we want to listen to the track me and Drew were scared about popping up?
I would like that very much.
All right, I guess we'll pull it up. And I will give...
there's like
I will
fucking
give
8
some
versions of the
context.
song, so I'm gonna need you to find the version you want him to listen to.
Okay, I will do that real quickly, and then I will give the briefest rundown to my knowledge.
There's
of
yeah,
the song.
it's kind of there's
This-
kind of a lot.
It is very complicated, Holster, to say the least. I guess... Oh, my lord.
It's kind of all the. Nah, that's a bad way of wording it. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna say it's kind of all the darkest parts of 808s, which I guess kind of, but that still doesn't really. I don't know. It's something though.
Okay, I think this is probably the best one I'm going to find. I don't think this is the exact version. Like the... Hold on, I'm going to keep looking. Sorry. I want to find just 4 minutes. No, that's not the right. Actually, you know, this will work. This version will work. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to send it to Drew. Okay, so Holster, to give a background on this, because my knowledge on this isn't super well-versed. So basically, after 808s dropped, a lot of people didn't like it. For being just very different to what came before. A lot of people just criticized it for just being not what they wanted, saying that it was just a very disappointment compared to his previous work. And I guess that really did mess with him, because again, it was basically a way to cope and just get his emotions out through music, and everyone just kind of trashed it. So that just didn't help his mental health, which again will probably not have future consequences ever. Life goes on. Around 2009, the Music Video Awards comes around, and I'm guessing you probably... I would hope that you would know what happened with Taylor Swift at that event. Holsher, do you know what happened?
I am blissfully ignorant.
Damn. So, you know what? Let's just pull it up. Let's pull this up. We'll give a live Holsher reaction to... We'll give a live Holsher reaction to this incident.
Music, so thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
So, yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, just stormed the stage, said Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time, and people were not happy with him. That was the most controversial
You
thing
didn't
he
hear
had
them
done.
booing in that clip.
Yeah, that was the most controversial thing he did at that time. Which, if only that was the most controversial thing, we would be living in a very blessed timeline.
That's child's play compared to later events.
Later incidences. So that also fucked with his mental health. And sometime in between 2009 and 2010, he basically isolated himself from like everyone. Like he went to Hawaii just to, or maybe it was Japan. It was either Hawaii or Japan to like isolate himself for his next project, which we will talk about. Which this sort of leads into. Actually, it is basically like the whole essence of Twisted Fantasy, but
this is kind of the break between 808s and the next album.
But during this time, like leaks were coming out, like what his next album would be, and this track right here is very notable for being just like a cornerstone of Kanye history. If you could guess by the title, "Never See Me Again," it is a very, let's just say, depressing title. If you could guess like what it's about, just based off that, what would you have to say, Holscher?
I think Mr. West is considering a visit to Home Depot.
Yeah. But that's basically what the track is mainly just about, like how everybody's against him, you know, and just like how life just like keeps kicking him down. Very depressing. I'm trying to think of like the one fact. So the main melody, I wouldn't even say the main melody. Sorry.
Well, should we talk about that after what he may or may not have sampled?
Maybe, I don't know. Sorry, I'm taking like a while. I just want to make sure my facts are straight.
I mean, it's straight as far as I remember. You haven't gotten anything wrong yet. But this is technically unreleased, Holscher. This was never officially like.
So this is sort of in the same way as Bittersweet. Instead, but
I wouldn't even say that because Bittersweet was officially released, just not here. This was not released anywhere. I don't think this was just straight up leaked.
Yeah, Holscher. This is a very interesting track. The main sample has also been debated as to what he actually sampled. Some people say he's sampled the song titled "I'll Never Want to See You Again," which, if you listen to that main melody, it kind of does sound similar. But also I guess maybe sort of popular myth. He sampled a song called "Futari Dake no Ceremony" by Yukiko Okada, and most people mainly think of that because she famously took her life at the age of 15, which is very depressing to think about. But actually, sorry, it was 18. My fault. She took her life at the age of 18 after becoming a star in Japan. But again, it is debatable as to what he actually sampled because again, it is a very mysterious song. Long over complicated explanation out of the way. You ready to listen to 9 minutes of this?
Yes, sir.
All right, get comfy. Here is "Never See Me Again." Also, wait, sorry. I should also mention the cover art that most people use for this. I'm pretty sure this is a photo of either him in his youth or his mother in his youth, playing at their old house. But I think it is Kanye, if my memory serves me correct. But I'll figure that out later. But now, sorry, with all that preamble out of the way, let's listen to "Never See Me Again." Well, that was the infamous "Never See Me Again." What are your thoughts on that one, Holscher?
Had a good nap.
Yeah, that's fair.
Long. There's shorter versions, then there's even longer versions too. That's just one of the many.
I think this is like the famous one, like the unfiltered, just like it, you know. And I mean, I could probably guess it is kind of long. But what else did you think about that, Holscher?
Well, I also think it tells a lot about Kanye's mental state. He seems very bitter.
Yeah.
It explains a lot, actually.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's probably obvious. I'll probably speak for Drew as well. This is probably one that no one ever revisits because, again, it is very depressing, even for, like, compared to 808s. Like, this is just, like, not even musically depressing. It's just literally just someone just airing out everything that, like, just sucks about life and just, like, where they are, like, rock bottom. Again, it is just basically a freestyle for most of it. So, I mean...
It's not depressing if you get bored and just start staring at the wall.
Yeah, and I mean, I could also see, like, again, this point is just, like, just trying to air out everything you got problems with, you know? And again, it is like a coping mechanism, you know? You just need to like just say your mind. And like music does help, you know, and again, no one was probably ever supposed to even hear this.
Yeah, probably a good thing it never got officially released.
Oh yeah, no. This is like everyone dreads like every single like Kanye fan dreads the day that this would ever release. Like if it ever drops, like you know it's like the end game. Like it is Jover and it will never be back. But yeah, sorry for taking up your spot, Drew. What did you think of this song?
I mean, no, you pretty much said it for me. I mean, everything you said, I pretty much agree with. I don't really have anything to add beyond that.
Yeah, but this is a very important piece of, I guess, Kanye's music and his history because this one song, I guess, would set the tone for just what Twisted Fantasy will have to be. You know, like I guess that is kind of spoiling it, but also just the redemption. You know, like with everything just like pinned against him, like all that world's like got his attention on him. He needs to like make the best album to come back with because if anything else falls short, like it is done for him. Like that's basically the stakes of the next album, Holster. And hopefully I don't like try to play up this album. I'm just saying like where I'm coming at is like a historical perspective as well.
If that album is anything like this song,
yeah, that would be very, very, very telling and worrying. But
well, Holster, what did you mean by that? I picked up something different. What did you mean when you said that?
You guys have been implying that the next album is very similar to that song.
So you meant in terms of quality, whereas Bryce gathered you meant in terms of.
I meant in terms of like emotions and like just like content wise, as well, like what the meaning of it is, you know.
Okay, so then I can probably expect it to be to 808s what late registration is to College Dropout.
I mean, I would say the theme of the album now, but I feel like just listening to it.
I think we just save it.
And just save it, but I would say just go into the next album just thinking like with the world just like watching him, like all eyes on him. You know, he's got
to bring
make a comeback. He needs to bring like everything. Like this is the last hurrah.
And I think this sets a good precedent, not necessarily in terms of quality, but in terms of what is at stake for the next album. And again, that's not in terms of quality. You know, that's subjective. That's its own thing. But in terms of what's at stake, I think this was a nice bridge between 808s and Twisted Dark Fantasy.
I guess that concludes the album. Overall thoughts? You said it was a 9 to a 9.5, right, Holster?
Yep.
All right. Well, that was a fun listen. Not necessarily this song. Not this song, probably. This was depressing and very concerning, but it is important. And I know you said it's kind of boring, but again, in the context, we
showed you this one more for context than we did thinking you'll like it.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We know you weren't going to like this, Holster. We just needed to set a precedent and like give you a reason as to why we were like worried about this song.
Well, I'm sure it would have been much more insightful if I paid attention.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Fair enough, yeah.
But again, I think this is very important. Next, we have what many Kanye fans would consider his magnum opus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So
interesting.
Let's see if that will live up to your standards, Holster, which are very high, considering how much you enjoyed both Graduation and 808s. Until next time.